2 weeks is a long time at this stage of the season, especially when you're stewing over what should have been a victory against Arsenal, and then last weekend you watch Burnley and Newcastle pick up points. Has it been a frustrating fortnight?
Yeah, it's been a frustrating one. Certainly, I think the back end of it has not, but certainly the early part of after the aftermath of the game and Arsenal and the way that ended really was a hard one to take for everyone, and was a difficult one really. So, of course, like anything in this game and not what we're in, the next opportunity then comes. 2 weeks has been a long time, but big challenge now, and the next game comes, and we need to be ready for that.
How do you cope with it? Have you developed a technique as the season's gone on to deal with, basically the last kick of the game against both Wolves and Arsenal, you throw away points? Do you go home and scream into a pillow, or do you close yourself in a sealed room for a bit? How do you cope with it?
Yeah, it's just part and parcel of what we do, isn't it? It's part and parcel of the job. And in saying that, played football for a long time and have been around it. I don't think I've been involved in the last couple of weeks and the way the game's ended. I think I've said it before. The Wolves game, conceding in the last minute to not get a point out of the game, and then practically the last corner of the game against Arsenal. So yeah, look, disappointing. And as much as you can have strategies and we all put on a brave face deep down, sometimes there's ones that really get you and they hurt you, and certainly the last one was that for I think everyone, including myself. But as always, like I said after the game, there's no hiding place, and as quickly as that disappointment comes, as it may take a little bit longer than others, you have to get the gloves back on. You have to keep swinging again, and that's what we're going to do.
And turning our attention to Saturday evening, is there a hope that Chelsea perhaps have one eye on Real Madrid next week?
Well, I think it's like anything. Playing against a very good side, a really good side in good form, and when you're going to Stamford Bridge and you're a team like us, luck needs to be with you. Of course they do. We need to play exceptionally well. Everything needs to go well for us in that sense. We need to be very, very hard to beat, and we have to hope that of course there's certain elements of Chelsea which is a little bit off it. And again, do I believe we can go there and get a result? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, realise the challenge and realise the quality we're up against, a team that are banging form and a team that have done very, very well. But it's these challenges we went for last year in the Championship and got out of that league for these moments really. So albeit a difficult situation for us in terms of where we are in this division at this present moment in time and how the season is, this is one you can't wait to play in.
And obviously you've played for both clubs, you've gotten to know both fan bases. Would it be fair to say that for Chelsea fans, the biggest derbies might be Spurs or Arsenal, but for Fulham fans, this is the big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a local derby around the corner from each other, and what local derbies bring is exactly that, a rivalry, a passion. There's always a bit added on to them games, and of course maybe the gulf over years have differed a little bit in terms of league and how regularly we've played each other. There's no denying that obviously it's a London derby and it's a big one.
Just one thing I wanted to ask you about finally, Scott, and it's something you've spoken a lot about in the past before as well, but that's the social media boycott which is taking place over this weekend. And I know your thoughts on social media, that you find it a pretty poisonous and unpleasant place that's best avoided.
Yeah. My position on social media was not changed, and it won't change really. And I think that it can only be good. The boycott. Hopefully, the people and the powers and these companies, what are out there, what are doing it, will put things in place that you don't give people a platform who can just literally go onto a computer without giving any sort of identity or any sort of regulation and abuse or come out and say what they want to say. So a boycott in the industry, what we're in and what that brings, can only be a good thing really. And hopefully this is one move that can influence them companies and make them realise that how powerful football is really in that sense, and maybe they will act on that to obviously stop what we've seen certainly of late, and certainly what's getting picked up is mindless, stupid people who feel that they can just abuse people.
And clearly, your players are all grown men and you can't tell them what to do, but in an ideal world, would you have your players not on social media, or are there any players you said in the past, look, maybe it's just best to delete Twitter from your phone for a bit because it's causing you too much grief?
Yeah, look, I would never tell someone what to do and what not to do. It's someone's personal preference. Human nature is that at times, for me, I only see it as a downfall, and that there are experiences I've had around it, people I'm around, people what speak about it. For every 10 pictures someone shows me, 9 times out of 10, 9 of them are commenting on how poor they are or how they see a criticism in it. Every 10 comments that a player maybe reads, it's the 5 or 6 that people are always telling me, oh, he's done it, he said this, and that's why I don't get that. I personally don't see the benefits. I understand how powerful it is, but I would never. It's one's personal preference. It's one's tolerance on that. For me, a guy who lives 400 miles up the road who's commenting on me or want to like a picture of mine, it's an irrelevance to me. I'm not going to. But some people maybe that's what they do, and I get that, and there is no right or wrong. It's just what one's tolerance is really.
Cheers, Scott. Best luck on Saturday.
Cheers, Jamie. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Faker others.
Hi, Scott. Nice to see you. Hi. You were really unlucky last time against Chelsea not to get something out of the match. You played absolutely brilliantly, and that Mason Mount late winner. But does that give you a bit of confidence going into this game?
Yeah, it does give us confidence. Yeah, I think for large parts this year, and as mad as that sounds, because we sit where we do in the division, we've had a consistent performance. I really hate using the word unlucky. I really hate that. But for sure, at times this year, we've certainly been on the wrong end of certain things and felt that pain a little bit. But yeah, look, we went down to 10 men in that game, and we, for large parts, played very, very well, and a little bit of quality, a mistake at the time I remember, and a little bit of quality. But these are a very good side, Faye. I think we understand that. Top class team that have got abundance of ability. But what a challenge for us! What a challenge for the players to go up against this sort of club and this football team.
Yeah, massive challenge as the next few weeks. Really, 5 games left, 15 points to play for. 7 points from safety. How have the players been in this past week? Do they still believe? Because I know how confident you've been this season, but are they still 100% to getting out of this situation, no matter how difficult it is?
Yeah, of course that belief wilts away. Of course it does. But like I say to them, and like I keep saying, we was one corner away from beating Arsenal, and I understand. I totally get it. Look, games are running out, and we need to win games, and they need to win, and we know that. But you beat Arsenal, which you come away with 3 points, and it looks a whole lot different, and we need to have that belief now. Can we go and beat Chelsea? Yeah, we can. If we don't beat Chelsea, I get come Monday morning, that challenge is going to be hard for that question you're asking me. At this present moment in time, there's still a lot to play for, a lot of games in that sense. But of course, that challenge is becoming very, very difficult for us, and we all understand that. Main focus now is let's try and win games. Let's try and keep improving, keep playing well, and hope that maybe we can get some results and turn these little tiny ones. You look at it. Last 2 games really on another day, you've hopefully come out with 4 points. I know we've not, and I reiterate that. I understand that, and I get that. Instead, we've come out with 1. But yeah, we have to keep going.
Yeah, it's really fine margins, and you've talked a lot about leaders this season as well, and needing leaders, particularly now at the moment. What players step up, do you feel, over the past week or so, or 2 weeks that you've had to discuss the run-in?
Yeah, we're going to need leaders. We've needed leaders from the start, and certainly even now, even more so. These are the moments that really you find out the true mettle of people. Adversity, hard times, really coming on, and you want some oxygen. And how people will sometimes get oxygen in these moments is to hide away from it, shirk away, really. And these are the moments whenever you've got to stand up. This is what really tests character, tests leadership, tests everything. So I always say to this team, like I say to everyone, there's a chance we're going to fail this year. course there is. There's a chance with the games coming we could foul, but in them moments you have to stand even taller. You have to keep fighting and keep trying all we can, keep improving, keep doing all we can to have to get 3 points really. And in these moments more than ever we need leaders. Do I believe we've got them? Yeah, I do. Do I believe that also we lack that? Yeah, there is moments in that. It's a young team. It's a young team that have not probably been in around this, not in the Premier League certainly as well. So it's something that we're constantly pushing and working on.
Wish you all the best of luck on Saturday, Scott.
Thank you, Faye. Thank you.
Thank you, Faye. TalkSport, James Sabundra.
Thanks, Carmelo. Hi, Scott.
Hi, James.
Scott, when you look at the starting 11 that started against Arsenal, 9 of the players actually weren't here last season. Is there a feeling that you wish you had a few more games, because it's clear that this side is developing all the time, but you might just run out of time?
Yeah, look, this team have improved no end from where we were. I think the way the squad was developed, there was 5 or 4 games before the window shut, and there's been a consistency. I don't know the exact points we've averaged, probably a point a game we're probably on from when the window shut, which is probably a good turnaround in that sense in terms of where we are. So yeah, of course, like anything, I don't see a dead and buried team. I don't see a team that have not been on the up or improving. So for that reason, I think you're right in your comments. Of course, you'd want more games because, or certainly you'd want it to a few more games, but it's not to be. And even though I'm saying that at times, we've not managed to get them points or win them games what we should have won or got points from. So the big challenge, like I said at the start, was let's make us solid. And as quickly as that challenge come, we did that. There was another challenge, which was, okay, we need to try and win games now. We've got to try and score goals. We've got to try and be more aggressive, front foot. Got a lot of draws, and we've fallen short on that area a little bit, probably. Goals and being in their moments to win games, we've just fallen short a little bit.
And in terms of those goals, you look at Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel. They've conceded only 10 goals, I think, in his 22 matches in charge. Do you feel like you've got enough going forward to pose them some real threats?
Well, it's a challenge for us. It's been a challenge. That's been that constant challenge. Do we create them chances? I believe we can. I believe we can create. We certainly can get in them moments. It's we need to be clinical. Them moments against Chelsea and the likes of them teams won't come every other chance. But certainly when they do come, you need to be on the right end of them. Whether that's set plays, whether that's your 1 or 2 chances, what are going to fall, we need to be clinical. So look, of course, defensively, a very strong side. A side what have got a wealth of experience and a wealth of quality, really. So there's that challenge there, but it's a challenge what we embrace.
Fulham haven't beaten Chelsea since 2006. Do you think that you need to end that run to give yourselves any chance, really, of staying up this season?
Yeah, look, our focus this week's been to just go and try and win the game. We want to try and win the game. We need to win the game. Not getting a result of the weekend obviously puts a heap load of pressure on us. But even in saying that, after that, the fixtures, what we have, then of course the challenge is we're going to have to win near on all of them. So, but can we do it? Yeah, I still think we can. I understand that bar is slowly getting lower, but at this moment in time, I believe we can.
And just finally from me, Scott, I know you won't want to talk or think about relegation at all, but is there less of a fear this time around when you consider what you were able to do last season, when you look at the likes of Norwich and Watford who have come straight back up, and this squad seems to be a squad, as we spoke before, that is developing all the time?
Well, there's always fear. There's always fear, and this squad won't be this squad next year. This squad's going to be, whatever league we're in, the way we've gone about our business is this squad won't be this squad. So the challenge next year, whatever the outcome this year, is going to be exactly that: rebuild it, bring players, rebuild the whole dynamics of it again. So of course there's a big challenge ahead of us. The football club decided this year to go the route we did, to give us a chance to stay in this division, and the way we got players in was by the loans, and that's what we've managed to do, and hopefully that will be successful for us. If not, then the fear will come, of course, because you're in a tough league, and whatever league that is, and with a whole new squad coming back, or different players again, it's the next challenge is again to then bed that team in and re-go again. So of course there is, but at the same time I have full belief and confidence in what I do and what my staff do, that challenge is one which we can try and get the better of.
Brilliant, Scott. Thanks for your time.
James, thank you.
Thanks, James. And just to complete the broadcast section, Emma Jones, BBC London.
Hello, Scott. On that point, actually, about the summer, are you already having conversations about what next for Fulham? And can you give us any kind of insight into the conversations you're having with the sort of powers that be about what might happen in the summer?
Yeah, at the moment, Emma, no. At the moment, no. Do I suspect that will be the case in the next 10 days, 2 weeks? Yeah, I'd like to think so. But at the moment, that's not the case, because I think that conversation needs to take place when really there's some real definitive, and you know exactly where you are, because the outcome of what you could face is so big, it's massive. From one league to another league, it's massive. So really, there'd probably be of course, I'd like to think that them things are happening behind in the club, in them departments. But for me, I have one focus, which is let's try and get some results and keep ourselves in it. And I believe that is the case at this present moment in time. I think once that's said and done, then my attention and certainly my attitude towards that will probably change, and I'd need to have them conversations to find out exactly the plan.
How do you pick up the players again? Because, you know, Aston Villa, Wolves, Arsenal, it must be now that the players can't continue to believe that they're going to get the points that you need.
Yeah, no, of course, maybe they do. The reason I believe is because it's so close, as in the games are so close. You know, all them 3 games you mentioned, you're 1-0 up against. And I know your answer could be, it's just the same old talk, and really, yeah, but you're saying you're so close, but you've gained 1 point out of them 3. But then on the flip side of that, how I look at it, how I'm honestly looking at it is Aston Villa 1-0 up with 15 minutes to go and not good enough. Conceded 3 goals in 15 minutes, nowhere near good enough. Wolves 0-0 for practically the whole game, a runaway goal, and the boys hit at the tightest angle, 1-0, it's a loss. Arsenal 1-0 up with 3 points there, same as Wolves with 1 point there, and the last corner, last kick of the game, the disappointment of that. Now I know that's going to have an effect, and of course I'm not going to lie to you, that has an effect. Of course it has an effect. It's going to have an effect on the players. Do the players maybe think like me? Maybe not, and that's my job to try and listen how close we are at this present moment in time. I get that in another game's time, or 2 games, because we no longer can be saying there's a lot of games left, or of course that's not the case. But certainly, you know, can we go to Chelsea like we went to Arsenal, like we went to Everton, and get a result, or be in this game and try and get something? Yeah, I do believe we can. And if we do, like West Brom did, if we do, does that put us in is our picture changed? Yes. How are we going to get a result against Chelsea is by the way I'm thinking, is by the way I see it, is by the way I need my players to see it and everyone to see it. You want to go into the Chelsea game and be no chance. And at the end of the day, we're living in a world here where every game, whether you're bottom of the league or whether you're top of the league, you're on show. People are judging you, and ultimately that's exactly where my mindset is at this moment in time. And until really that changes, I'll be the first to be honest with you and say, you know what, yeah, we've fallen short, or we've not fallen. At this moment, that's not the case for me. It honestly isn't.
It sounds as if what you're saying to us is what you're saying to your players at the moment.
Yeah, that honestly, that is exactly it. And maybe your views are the same as some of my players. Maybe when I'm speaking here to you, maybe I get that maybe you're thinking, yeah. and I understand that. But it's my job to keep banging that drum. And however I try and get that mindset to change in a player, and yours as well, whether that is, I don't need to control you. You can think what you want. But certainly my players, I need to try and change that mindset. If that is the case, I don't believe it is. I honestly don't. Maybe there's a few, of course there is, because the disappointment of what's happened, not just over the last few games, but the disappointment in parts of this season will have. Some people are different. Some people are a little bit weaker in their moments. Some people will look at the more pessimistic side than the more optimistic side. Of course they will. But taking all that aside, what do we need to do against Chelsea? What do we need? What do we need to do to perform the best we can perform? Well, one, we need to have a real belief. Well, how do we get that belief? I'm not telling lies. I'll be the last to tell lies in front of my team. I'm not telling lies at all. Was we one corner away from winning at the Emirates? Yes, we was. Was we literally a one runaway breakaway? Yeah, we were. And have we had good performances this year? Do we feel we're close? Yeah, I honestly do. And while I say that, I'm always conscious that from the outside it doesn't look like that. From the outside, yeah, you're third from bottom in the league. You've got 1 point out of whatever. Yeah, okay, I understand that. But I also see a team that are going the right way. I see a team that have courage. And while that's still there, and there's that burning fire in me, then that's what it will be. That burning fire may run out in a couple of weeks. I hope it doesn't. It may run out at the last game of the season, and when I'm on holiday, you call me up or ask me the question, it might be a very different one. I'm going to be down. I'm going to be that. But until that moment, I'm not. Until that moment, we have to go. We have to go. We're going to go and play against the top side against Chelsea, and that's what we need to do.